It's Batman! So yeah, I'm here to review Batman Returns. So after the critical and financial success that was Batman, Tim Burton was immediately hired to direct the follow-up, Batman Returns. It was also given full creative control over, basically anything. And that's definitely one of the faults of this movie. The first movie, it felt like it was just a guy directing a Batman movie. It didn't feel like any particular director. It just felt like a Batman movie being directed by someone. And here, it definitely felt like a Batman movie being directed by Tim Burton, because it has a lot of the dark, creepy overtones that usual Tim Burton movies would have. And that was one of the many faults that a lot of people at the time said. That, it was too dark, and, kids, parents, complained that it was way too dark and stuff. And definitely not gonna lie, it is way too dark. Like, if you're a parent and you are watching this with your children, do not let your children watch it, because it is dark as hell. But I don't think that's the main reason why it's so panned, or that's the reason why Tim Burton was booted off of doing any other Batman movies. The reason why I think this movie is so panned, not because of why it's so dark, even though that is one of the problems, is because it is a clustered and cluttered mess. You know how I feel about this movie already. I reviewed it for a short time back in, well, I believe, I haven't seen the video in a while, back in December. And I don't hate this movie. I really don't. I actually do. It's a guilty pleasure, really. It's not the best movie ever. It's not the worst movie ever. It's just a flawed movie. That's the best I could say. And going back to one of the other problems of it, like I said, it's just clustered and cluttered, and it's got a billion ideas and billion plot holes to count. And it's just like they had a billion ideas for this movie, and they went with every last one of them without thinking it through. And that's the thing about this movie. It doesn't feel thought through. It just feels like I said, they just went with a million ideas, and that's it. They just put those ideas in the movie, even though they didn't really, stick. It's like throwing, pencils at the wall and seeing if they stick. They don't, don't keep on flicking them up there. But that's what they did. They just put a bunch of ideas in this movie, and that's it. And it just feels cluttered. And going back to the cluttered thing, one thing that I do not like in this movie is Catwoman. Now, I'm not going to rag on Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer, for the role that she played, did it great. I thought she was cool in it. She was creepy and stuff, but also really sexy and cool, like the character Catwoman's supposed to be. But I don't like this character for two reasons. One, this character, Catwoman, in this movie, had nothing to do with the movie. Like, if you took her out, it'd be no different. She literally isn't, there's no point for her to be in this movie, other than to be the love interest, and also to be there. That's it. That's the only reason why she's in here. Second of all, I don't like her because they completely messed up her origin. Same thing with the Penguin. Catwoman is not supposed to be half person, half cat. She is literally just supposed to be a chick in a cat suit that steals jewels. And she's a cat burglar. Hence the name Catwoman. She, is not a fucking cat. And also the way she becomes Catwoman, how do all the cats, bring her back to life? Were they, radioactive super cats or something like that? Did they, are they a witch's cat? I'm just it didn't make any sense. They come out of nowhere, and then they just start biting her and stuff. She starts blinking her eyes, and then she comes back to life. It's well, how did she come back to life? Is it something really supernatural cat or something like that? I just didn't get it. And also, another thing I don't like about this movie is the Penguin. The Penguin, same thing with Catwoman, they messed up this character's origin completely. The Penguin in the comics was just a short, fat, was like a short guy, and he was fat and he had a pointy nose, and he walked and resembled a penguin. That's his name, the Penguin. He was a mobster. He wasn't like a supervillain or anything to Batman, like he is depicted sometimes. He was just a mobster, and he actually was probably one of the only sane villains of Batman. He was never completely insane like the Joker was. He was, just, a guy, basically, that resembled a penguin. Here, they just make him a sewer mutant, and he's just like a cliched villain, basically, and he wants to, get all the Gotham, firstborn children and drop them in a pool of toxic chemicals from a chemical plant. That's, just completely uninteresting as, a character. What I really would have liked this scene is something that it looked like it was going for. During the movie, they have the Penguin on, a newscast, and all he wants to do is find out who he is, what's his real name, and who his parents were. And what would have really been interesting is if they went with that, then society rejected him like his parents thought he would, and he goes insane, tries to kill everybody. That would be interesting. That would be, that would be really cool. He goes insane because everyone keeps on rejecting him from this stuff. He tries to live a normal life, and then boom, he can't. In fact, there was a Batman the Animated Series episode almost like that. I believe it's called Birds of a Feather, where the Penguin gets out of jail and tries to make a new life, tries to make amends with everyone, and that would have been interesting to see. But no, they didn't do that, and so we have just a cliched villain, that's a villain just to be a villain, which is completely uninteresting if you ask me. We also even have a third villain named Max Schreck, played by Christopher Walken. And, he's like a chemical plant guy. He's got that pushes Catwoman out of the window, she comes Catwoman, whatever. He basically is a completely pointless character as well. You could have taken him out of here, and it would have been completely, no different whatsoever. And this is the thing I'm talking about with all the ideas, and they just went with them. They had so many ideas for so many characters, and they just shoved them all in one movie. It's like the Spider-Man 3 of, Batman movies. They have 3 villains, and they had so many ideas, and they just shoved it all in one movie, and it just is a big mess. That's why, one of the reasons why I don't like this movie. There was also a lot of, out-of-nowhere scenes. And probably a lot of people already know I'm talking about, when Penguin bites that one guy's nose off. That's just weird. Also, going back to the Penguin, I hate this character. I really do. And I don't hate him like you're supposed to hate a villain. He does something, really messed up and evil like a villain should, and you're supposed to hate him. No, he doesn't. I don't hate him like that. I hate him. I hate the way the character was, written. He's just a freaking, sexual weirdo, basically. Half the time, he's, hitting on Catwoman and stuff, making really, stupid sexual innuendo jokes. It's just disgusting. Who cares? He even, whatchamacallit, he even has a line, I'm gonna show her my flipper trick, something stupid like that. That character was just completely... Just creepy, and I know that's the point of the character, and that's the way he was written, but he's just disgusting and just a completely unlikable character, even as a villain. But, the thing is, I don't hate this movie. I know I'm giving it a lot of crap. I don't hate this movie. It still is a really good movie. There still are many good things in this movie. The score by Danny Elfman is amazing, just like the first movie. Freaking amazing. It's just awesome. The way... I hate landscapers. But the score was amazing. Every last, track was just amazing. Especially the... You done? Every last track was amazing. Especially the finale part at the very end and stuff. That was amazing. Same thing I have to say for the other ones. The way it's directed is very nice, and I find it very funny because a lot of people say this movie's dark, and this movie takes place around Christmas time, and it's very nicely lit and stuff. So that's kind of cool. That's very ironic, I must say. Oh my God, stop! Yeah, it's landscapers mowing the lawn, but anyways, Anyway, I would just like to say that I don't hate this movie. I really do like this movie. It's a guilty pleasure. It's not the best Batman movie ever. Then again, it's not the worst. Probably already know what the worst is right now, and I'm dreading to sit through it. But overall, Batman Returns is a mixed bag of opinions. Some people like it, some people hate it. I'm in between on liking it or hating it. I don't like it, I don't hate it. I'm sorry I bashed it, but I already gave a few things why it was good. So please don't hate me if you like this movie. I like it. It's a guilty pleasure. So please, enjoy it for what you thought it was. If you hate it, if you love it, doesn't matter. Whatever. That's all I really have to say about it. So stay tuned next time when I get into the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. And I really want to end this video because I don't want you people, whatchamacallit, I don't want to keep on pausing this. But see you soon, people. Stay tuned for more Bat Month. Stay tuned for the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. This is me saying bye.